Take off. The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
Well, I've been reading. Oh, sorry, let's get that there. That's better, isn't it? Okay, in 3, 2, 1. So I've been reading on Facebook a lot. People have had their iOS device or Android device either update the software or update the app, and then things haven't been working. So first question I'm going to ask is, why are you allowing anything to update? You want to turn it off in Play Store. Go into settings, the thing for auto update, turn it off. On the iPad or your iOS device, I'll just show you this. Go into settings, and if you go down to iTunes and App Store, you'll see things here: automatic downloads, music, apps, books, updates. Turn all those off, and then you can tell I've done it on mine. So if I go into the App Store, you'll see under updates, they're there waiting to update. I'm not going to update the latest DJI Go because apparently there's been a few issues with it. I'm going to wait until DJI sort themselves out. For Android, if you do accidentally update, well, there are ways and means to get around it. For iOS, you can downgrade the software quite easily, but the app, it's a little bit more complicated. There are videos, I'll put some links to them underneath, and it involves using iTunes and a program called Charles. So let's just say, for instance, you upgraded the app on your Android device. First place you want to go to is here. This website is called APK Mirror. Just search for DJI and you'll find all the DJI Go products here. Just download it, and then you're going to need to sideload onto your phone or your tablet. Sideloading basically just means you're loading outside of the normal Play Store. First thing you'll need to do is find in the settings something called allow unknown sources. Basically that just says you can install it. If you don't tick that box or set it up to allow unknown sources, it'll just say can't install the app. Take the app, copy it to your phone, either stick it on an SD card or plug your phone into your PC, laptop, copy it into a download folder, for instance. Once you've done that and you've allowed unknown sources, just uninstall the old app, install the new one, you're good to go. Okay, so that covers how to get around an updated app for Android. If, however, the software is updated, again, it can still be done. Let's say, for instance, I've got an S3 and I was messing about trying to put Android version 6 or 7, it didn't work. Now there's a program you can find called Odin, O-D-I-N. Plenty of instructions on the web. All you need to do is just find the relevant firmware for your tablet or your phone, etc. If it's a Samsung phone, there's this one here which is called samsung-firmware.org. You can just search your model number in there, like S5, S7, S6, whatever else, and it will give you a link to the latest or the firmware you're looking for. Read the instructions, and I'll tell you now, right, 99% of the time there's no issues. However, because you are flashing firmware onto a phone, there's always possibly a chance you might break the phone or the tablet. You do it at your own risk. Everyone will say you do it at your own risk. Just use Odin and it will flash it back. So that's how you can get around an updated operating system, especially Android. People say, why is Android, so buggy when it comes to apps? Well, it's simple. I mean, there are so many platforms, there's so many tablets, so many phones, so many, I don't know, 500-600 different types of, manufacturer, and you've got your Samsungs, you've got Acer, you've got Nexus, Google. Everyone's doing an Android tablet, and for an app writer to be able to write it and test it, on an Android device, they may test it on a few. They may use the Samsungs, they may use them Huawei ones, I don't know, but they can't test on everything. And there's always going to be variations in hardware, software integration, and it will cause problems. iOS, on the other hand, there are probably 20 devices at any one time, and the operating system is written specifically for that model. There's no variants of that, it's all written for it, which obviously makes iOS a lot better when it comes to platforms and obviously consistent architecture and consistent software. So moving on, so yeah, if you have upgraded or your iOS is upgraded, don't despair. You can dead easily downgrade the software that you need on your iOS device. There's a website called ipsw.me, and on here are all the firmwares. Now you'll see there are green firmwares and there are red ones. At the moment, I'm just looking at one for the iPad Mini 4, which I've got at the side of me. Green ones are ticked, the sign. That means that when you try to restore this particular file, Apple servers will say, yes, that's fine. Anything in red, you cannot now put onto an Apple device, which means anything below iOS 11.0.3, all these now are no longer signed. Don't despair though, because if you've already got a device, I've got an iPhone 6 Plus, it's on, I think it's on 10.2, I think it's on, or 10.3. You can still use it, but you'll never be able to make a backup and restore a backup because it'll simply say can't sign the backup. Apple force you to upgrade. They want you to upgrade for security reasons. They found flaws in their operating systems and they bring out a patch, they bring out a new version to address those issues. I'm not saying you should always upgrade. If your iPad, your iPhone 6, 7, whatever, is working fine, do not upgrade it unless the operating system is something, there's a bug or a flaw that may affect you directly. Simple as that. Now to do it, all you need to do is get a copy of iTunes, which I've got running in the background, because and once you download it from ipsw.me, you'll end up with a file, which if I go into my downloads folder, I'll show you now, and it's called, there we go, there they are there, 64-bit touch, that's 10.32, I can't restore that one, it won't allow me to it. And it's there, iPad 64-bit 1101 restore IPSW, that's the name of the file, is IPSW. So let's just switch back to iTunes. All you do is you go over to here, so click the little phone icon, go to restore, don't click it, hold down your shift key while you click the restore iPad. And as you can see, it pops through a box that asks you which version you want to restore to. So for instance, at the moment on my iPad, I am on version, let's have a look what we're in, general and about, I'm on 11.1. And as you can see from the website, there has been 1, 2, 3 firmware updates since then. But mine works, I don't want to, I don't want to upgrade, I want to leave it at that. So, but you can also upgrade as well, and you can also downgrade if you want to. You don't need to use the Apple's own upgrade on your iPad, you can simply download the file and upgrade it that way. So once you've gone in there, just click on that one, click open, and it will just then downgrade to the right version. Simple as that. Easy, quick and simple to do, it'll just take about 20 minutes, half an hour for your iPad to update. You may have to reinstall a couple of apps. It's not destructive in any way, but sometimes it does wipe out some of the apps. Right, so I said about, I'll put links in for how to downgrade iOS apps because it is a little bit complicated. I've never done it myself, but apparently it is doable. And any questions, leave them below and I'll try to address them as best I can. But in the meantime, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again real soon.